Greetings. Back in June 2001, I decided to go into business for myself. I had worked at hospitals for pretty much 18 years. Well, hospitals and a federally qualified health center. And it was time. I was in my early 40s. The job situation wasn't necessarily going all that well. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go out on my own. I knew nothing about self-employment. I didn't really know anybody who had ever been self-employed. I mean, I knew my grandfather, but he'd been self-employed from, the 30s through. And by the time I got to meet my grandfather, he was retired and he wasn't talking business. So I didn't even know to ask him anything. So what I did is I went out and I bought a Microsoft Publisher program at the time. And I made some flyers. In retrospect, they were pretty cartoonish. They were pretty amateurish, but I thought I was doing something. The thing is that I tried. And, over years, I learned a little bit better how to put out marketing material. But at the time, I was trying. I was creating these trifold things and I was sending them out there. Also, I decided I wanted to be a professional speaker. So I sent out letters to different folks. And luckily, being in healthcare and being part of a national organization at the time, I was able to secure some speaking engagements on basically healthcare topics as well as leadership. And I just tried. I didn't know really what I was doing, but I put stuff out there. By trying all these different things, I was able to do that. I was able to get a training for billing in New Jersey. I was able to get a little minor consulting gig in northern New York. And I just kept trying things. For instance, I did a lot of local speaking engagements to try to hone my craft a little bit. I wrote my first book on leadership. And I actually took it to the printers a few years later and printed a whole bunch of copies. I still have a whole bunch of copies, so if you want to buy a book, let me know. Click one of those links above and go check out the book. Anyway, I tried that, and I actually ended up making my money back, even though I still have a bunch of books. And then I tried writing a second book. That one hasn't gone out as well, but you know what? I keep trying. I've tried to create products. I did a video a few weeks ago where I talked about my management evaluation module. I created that. I created a manager training program. I've created websites. I've created a lot of things. I've traveled and done different consulting things. A lot of it I did have some background on. Okay, you know what? For the healthcare stuff, I have a lot of background. The thing is, I'm always trying something new. Even now, I'm looking to change my business model. I have to do that because I've had to move my mother into the house. And I'm just not going to be able to leave. The days of going somewhere for 3 months to a year, those days are gone. Someone's got to be here with her. And actually, it's got to be two someones. I could make a ton of money and then pay someone to stay here. But now that's me trusting other people in my house. Ain't going to happen. So I'm going to try to figure out a new business model. And it may involve still doing healthcare. It may involve doing leadership when I can. It's definitely going to try to involve speaking. It's definitely going to involve writing. In other words, I'm going to be trying something new to, take care of a situation that I now have. And we always need to be trying. And I do this video today because there are a lot of people I know who are afraid to try. Doesn't mean that they're afraid to work. Doesn't mean that, they're staying in the house all the time. What I mean is they're afraid to try to be better. They're afraid to try to succeed. They're afraid to kind of go out on their own and try those kinds of things. I know a lot of people who are very intelligent and very skilled who couldn't conceive of even trying to go out on their own. They just couldn't do it. And I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm just saying that there's a lot of people who have way more talent than I have. I'm not going to say they're smarter, but I'm going to say they have a lot of talent. And they just, for whatever reason, and I know a lot of it is fear-based, they're afraid to try. There's people I know who should probably be running for office who would be better than almost any politician I know, but they're afraid to try. And I'm not going to lie. There's certain things that I'm afraid to try. It's just not going to happen. I'm not comfortable with that. But my friend Kelvin says to me all the time, you try a lot of different things. Where a lot of people talk about doing things, you've actually done them. They don't always work out the way you hope they did, but you're always trying. You're always willing to try. And that's my message to everyone here today. We've got to try to do things. We've got to try to make ourselves better. Look here, I read at least a book a week. And it's not always on leadership, management, money, whatever. I'm reading all the time. Sometimes I read pretty fast. Basically, I've read 2 books this week. That's not going to happen all that often, but I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to get better at things. I read a ton of articles. I write a ton of articles. I'm always trying for that next thing. Can't, stop trying. I need to get to that $1 million in the bank. Actually, I've always said 10 million in savings. Now I'm just shooting for that million. I'm older now, and maybe the million will be enough. We all also need to have goals and dreams to shoot for, otherwise why try? No, we try anyway, even if we never get there. At least we know we've given it our best. So, what are your thoughts? Are you willing to try? Are you ever afraid to try? Are you willing to risk certain things? What would it take for you to do it? Y'all let me know. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm supposed to ask people to like and subscribe and share. So I'm doing that for once. I'm trying something new. See, I'm still learning. Y'all take care.